Okay, it's being recorded.
And then we have Jessica getting on, right? Because she's driving.
Yes, although, you know, the center of the state's freeways are closed, so I'm not sure if she even got to Rapid or,
Oh,
it,
it's that
yeah,
bad.
yeah, west of Chamberlain.
Is it that bad though, Lisa? Are people being weenies?
No, they've canceled a football game tomorrow in Brookings, and they have canceled some schools and events. I know in North Dakota for sure, but in some of the middle part, Aberdeen, is that considered middle part? Anyway, have closed some schools.
I see.
Have you heard of the road conditions going from Brookings to Sioux Falls?
I have not.
Okay.
But I just facialed a gal who family is supposed to be coming from Rapid City, and Rapid City's okay. It's the journey to get there. And it sounds like this is supposed to be going northeast.
Oh, glorious. Okay, because I'm driving from Hendricks in about 30 minutes or so. So say a prayer that the roads are good.
Okay. Are you coming to Sioux Falls then?
I am coming for the weekend, yes.
Oh, okay. Cool. And Betty, I believe, was not going to be able to join us, but it sounded like if Jessica did, it would be by phone.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got too.
Okay. Are you feeling any better?
I'm feeling better. I'm still not great, I'll be honest. You can probably see it in my face and all that good stuff. But yeah, thanks for asking. I'm getting there. Like, I feel like in the next 48 hours, it's going to be magical. I'm going to quickly do this. Sarah, you're probably calling about dropping off the thing. And if you want to drop by, you can. I'm on a conference call, so I can't talk.
Okay, I'll tell you guys. You want to like open your garage?
Yep, bye. Thanks. I didn't want to miss out on getting my shampooer back. So sorry about that.
Getting your what back?
My shampooer.
Oh.
And so, unfortunately, most people in life, like I plan stuff like, hey, yep, go ahead and drop it off at, 4:15. That will be great. I'll be working, so go ahead and drop it off and leave it in the garage or on the front step. But if I wouldn't have answered that phone call, she would have never came.
Oh. Hear ya.
I'm sure you had people like that too. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, you want to go ahead and share what you'd like to share?
Yeah, so if we want to start, we're going to start without Jessica, and we can send her the copy of the...
Yeah, I can certainly do that. I'll download it and put it in a YouTube clip.
Okay. So, several things. First of all, our Got Pink account is broke. Yay. Not yay. I mean, I know that's not exciting news, but partially because we do have the payments set up to where they're the same amounts as before, unless you're going to go for a lesser lease amount. And right now we do have Jessica that is paying the year amount, which is $195, and everybody else is paying $149. I put money into it to be able to pay the previous month's rent, and the insurance needs to be paid as well, or we need to figure out something else with the insurance, because that really should have been paid by the end of last month. And I did not pay that because I had to fulfill the rest of the amounts. Now, not all of this is as bad as it seems, because there was an error at the bank. I spent probably about 6 hours at the bank. The person that was handling our account left the bank, and the person that managed her left the bank. Therefore, they messed up basically our stuff, and so some of the reoccurring deposits didn't get taken care of, or the reoccurring transfers did not get taken care of, and so there's some missing items there. And I'm right now working on a spreadsheet to spreadsheet out exactly, so this kind of makes sense. I have the printouts of the bank transactions, which I'm also going to go ahead and send around, but it just makes my eyes hurt kind of thing. And so I'm taking that and putting it on a spreadsheet, so it's a little bit easier to try to understand, because it's just kind of a hot mess. I know Betty is one of the payments that didn't go through, and that not out of her fault, but out of the bank's fault. And so they had sent information to her to get that signed, to get that regoing as well. And then I believe Jessica has one missing as well. And Lisa, you're good to go. Yours are, I believe, all up to date and taken care of. As far as I remember. And I apologize, I was supposed to have 30 minutes before this phone call to take a look over it again and go through all the information exactly accurately, so I could have exactly the perfect information to tell you. But I literally arrived about 3 minutes before I hopped on here, so I didn't have time to review all of it. So the studio account is hurting. So we need to come up with some kind of idea. I mean, at my point, I plan on, when we get some extra in there, to recoup what I put in. I put $1,000 in there of my own account, and more than likely we'll have to put another chunk in again as well this month, kind of the way that it's looking. The subtraction that I see from where we had plenty coming in before and not so much coming in now is we haven't had people buy studio passes or anything. And with the other studio, we had plenty of that coming in and plenty of that happening. And I don't mean like just the, the quarterly ones. I'm meaning more along the lines of the director ones. We just don't have those coming in. And part of it could just have been that, they purchased one and they hadn't used all their punches or whatever the situation is. But we need to find a way to kind of come together, market the studio. We have an amazing space. I know that we would have people that would take advantage of that if, they got to see that. So I don't know if we can kind of create some kind of idea. I know, Lisa, you talked about doing an open house before, getting people to come in and visit the studio. You've done some different things like that in Minneapolis. Maybe we can create some revenue coming in that way. You had got together that list for me. I had sent emails out to that. I didn't get responses, but there again, like, people are busy. What if it was a situation, it might have went to their junk because they don't know me. I don't know. But I did not follow up with anyone on that level. So, that's just kind of where we're at as far as the money goes. So I'm just open to ideas. What can we do? How can we recruit people in? What are the options? I know I've taken on the responsibility, but to be quite frank, I'd prefer not to have to be able to cover the rest of the costs and have money coming into the studio and be able to recoup what I put in there. So what do you guys got for ideas and thoughts?
Well, one of the things, I just got off a conference call with a director friend from Iowa, and in November, I'm going to a company-sponsored event that's actually going to be held in Minneapolis. It is with one of the, I met him first when Sean Key came into Minneapolis last year, and he introduced Jonathan. And they have them in different branches around the United States, but they are all certified in Strength Finder. And so they can do like a 2-hour session, a 3-hour session, or a 4-hour session.
In your strengths. Okay, gotcha.
So it's like the Gallup Poll Strength Finder. And so she just was, had talked with this, Jonathan is his name, and I think that is the same one. Or not Jonathan, Kevin Kepp or something like that. And he is based out of Chicago. So he would come, I think he's flying into Minneapolis in November. She's looking at doing a date in Iowa, and he'll do it with as many as 5 people or up to 50 people. And I think it would be a great location for us to be able to have a good amount of people. I think we could house 50 to 75. I might be wrong, but I think we could. Because I haven't been to this, I've done a Strength Finder test before, but I haven't been to this one that the company, corporate people have gone and gotten certified, and then they are coming in and doing the workshop and teaching us how to work within our strengths once we take the test. I think there's 2 versions of the test. I think there's a $15 one, and I think there's a $30 one. So I was thinking that if we did bring him in, and we could maybe do it on a night that we could have more local directors, more local consultants, perhaps have finger foods or whatever, and charge a fee for that. I don't know if Kevin actually charges a fee or if the fee that I'm paying for the one in Minneapolis, I don't know if that's to help fly him in or what, or if it's just the rent for the studio. I didn't hear you, Crystal.
What are you paying for Minneapolis?
I think it's 15. I'd have to go back and
So $15 for the test and then $15 for coming in person?
no, it was $15 total. But even if we did that, I mean, it's a way of being able to, let's see, what would that be? If we did, let's just say 75 people times 15, that'd be $1,100. So that still might not be enough, but that's an idea. Another idea might be, I've been working with Lori Bailey, and we've been doing once a month. Last night was our last one, is Know Your Color. And it's basically teaching about their facial shapes, teaching about the energy that they have, the energy in nature, showing them different colors and patterns, and getting them to think about nitrogen, oxygen, which are these 4 different types. And in the end, then they do facials, and they also do, we selected 4 different colors for the 4 different types of people. And they leave with those colors on their face. And of course, sales can be made. We were talking at last night after we did it is, why couldn't we just have the people that have already, are already on the basic? It would take far less time, and we could teach more in depth on the topic of it. So last night, there was a couple people that had not tried the product before, and then others who had. So we ended up doing the naturally products because one was very sensitive, and anyway, it worked out that way. So that might be something that we could do. And I know coming in the winter months, it's harder for Lori to get here because of the weather. So that's just, those have been 2 things I've been thinking about. The third one, of course, is Lori Hogg. And I hesitate to bite that bullet because it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
Well, and as much as I admire Lori, I have a hard time I don't know, like I just have a hard time going away from company training and getting trained by somebody else and having the consultants pay for that when we have so much great training already online that already is available by our makeup artists. And so I really struggle doing that with Lori Hogg because I really like to point at company as far as that goes. Not that I don't learn from her and all those things, and I think what she gives is great. My struggle is having people pay for a fee to learn from her, where Mary Kay provides all that stuff to us for free. It's kind of like, well, you're doing all this for us, but we're going to go pay for it anywhere else from somebody else. So I struggle with that just internally, having the heart of the company in thoughts.
Well, I think Lori has the heart of the company. She is a Mary Kay consultant herself. She uses only Mary Kay products when she does the demonstrations. She has really helped the sales force, because how often have any of the Mary Kay makeup artists gone to an area where they're learning strictly from them if it's only by video? So I think now I've seen Lori 4 different times, and each time it's become more concise, more effective. She talks about not only all the foundations, but she also goes into the different types of skin, gives selling suggestions. You can't buy any of her brushes or things unless you currently are using the Mary Kay brush set, which is what she teaches from. So I don't know. I just think that even years past, when John Maxwell, not John C. Maxwell, but John Maxwell taught and did Mary Kay's makeup himself, he used Mary Kay, but I've never seen a makeup artist that teaches with the Mary Kay at heart. So I know there's several directors that think, but I just don't see where the company's giving us that. And maybe I'm missing a video. Do you have an idea that you could share with me where that's at?
And tell me specifically what you're asking for the training part of it.
Where do we see Luis Costco on a 8-hour training, or where do we see Luis other than Luis promoting his books? You know, Lori hasn't done that. Does that make sense? So I see your point, but I also see
Your point too. Yeah, very much so. Here, I am taking notes here so I can remember that I'm agreeing with your points. Sometimes we're so busy. I'm gonna give me a second here.
and it's not that I disagree with you. It's just I probably wouldn't be saying this if I hadn't attended it as many times as I have. And no different, you know, than I guess some of the nationals who promote things and charge for things.
And see, I don't agree with any of that.
See, and I don't either, but now it's asked as a donation or however they're wording it. I'm not sure. Do you have any suggestions, Crystal?
Well, I'll be honest, like this is not one of my strong points, Lisa. I'm good with taking something that, you know, like your ideas are awesome and I'm good at taking that and then helping run with it and organize it. So as far as brand new ideas for me, I'm just not great at that. What I did think that would maybe be an asset to something that we do here is I know you know about Think 3D, and Taman is a personal friend of mine for 20 years. And I thought that no matter what we do, I could ask him to come in and even if it's a half hour of his time, come to speak to everyone because he's amazing. And I thought that that would be something that could maybe pull some people into and would be an asset to whatever we decide to do.
I do have, oh, go ahead.
No, Andy, you go ahead.
So one of my girls is Sarah Cronin, and Sarah Cronin is the director of Camp Lacodia. She and I have been talking. I've just been kind of asking like what are off-season prices and so on and so forth. And so Sarah has offered a really, really phenomenal price for Turk and the dining. And so that is something that we could really think about. I know we already did a fall retreat, but even like considering doing something like that again, or even doing something just like a social where they have a projector for the dining area and just more like of a fellowship. If we wanted to think about that, Sarah and I kind of cranked out some numbers and I would need to talk to her, but she said probably around like 300 for the Turk, and that is like incredibly steep. So that would be something that is strictly between us, like leave it to that, because since she is the director of Camp Lacodia, you know, she does have a responsibility for also bringing in an income, but this would be definitely something that she would be willing to do kind of on the DL, if that makes sense. And so that would be something where we would benefit from it because the price is so low, because Turk off season is about $720 a night. And so you can just understand the difference in pricing there. So her and I went ahead and figured out some dates. I can pull up my calendar after we get off this call and I can spread that around via email that she said would work for her. But I don't know what your thoughts are there. I understand, like, yeah, there's that upfront cost, but at the same time, like, Camp Lacodia is a really phenomenal space. And for us, if Crystal, you wanted to bring your friend in, even if it was the 30 minutes, he could come to Camp Lacodia and do that there. And we could do a Mary Kay Foundation, like, booth and stuff, just the same as we have done camp runs in the past. But that's just an avenue that I had been exploring, like, within the last month or so, seeing the last time we all spoke together, trying to think of fundraising ideas. So I've been looking at that as a potential option. What are your guys' thoughts?
So I think that that's good, and it's an amazing opportunity. However, that would take months of planning to pull something like that off and have it be effective to get people there. That would be a lot harder, I guess. And I would look at doing something at the studio because I want people to come and see the studio in hopes to get other directors excited about using the studio and having a constant income coming in from other people being part of the studio. So I'd love to do that going forward in the future, doing something, or I think it'd be really cool too to even have it like as a group event or like a social with consultants. Maybe have it be a little bit lower key, because we don't really get to spend enough time with our people, and or maybe have it as a prize or something they can earn the privilege of going to. I don't know, but as far as for something, I would really like to be at the studio, like I said, so people can see the space and want to be part of the space.
That makes sense. One other thing that I was thinking about, we could do it for the new year, as like, you know, a fundraising format for the studio, and doing like goal posters for the year. You know, you have 6 months left to the Mary Kay year. What are your goals? Let's break it down. Like you said, we could do that social, but that could be an avenue of income, like, you know, just for like a one-time thing. If that was something we wanted to, I could start talking about it and figuring that out.
What do you mean by like goal posters? Like you'd have people
like consultants come, and they could come for like the Friday night, and then we could be there all day Saturday. And then goal posters being like construction paper, like doing the vision boards, you know, and like just
you're
having
working
an
on them. I
activity.
thought you were talking about a fundraiser with goal posters. Okay.
No. So like the girls pay for like the, you know, whatever we break it down to be, because Turk can house, I believe Sarah said 15 to 17 people, if I remember correctly. And that's if it were sleeping 2 people to a bed. And realistically, I can force my girls to snuggle and fit 3. That's fine. But doing like a movie, doing pizza, doing vision boards and stuff like that, like doing the social with our girls, and then that money going towards the studio as like a fundraising thing. And I would be comfortable, you know, starting to look at different avenues of that. I am trying to think of ideas that we can do for the studio, like an open house. But otherwise, like, that's kind of what I've got. That's what I've been working on for the last month, is working with Sarah. So yeah.
Well, here's another idea. I had a client meet me at the studio, and she used to be in BNI when I was in BNI, and she is a coach. And I asked her, you know, because she's looking for space to rent. And what's that?
Who is the coach?
Tanya Unterbrunner.
Okay, I met her one time. Very sweet.
So she has been looking for some type of office space. And I showed her around. I showed her the conference room, the boardroom, and I showed her the balcony area, not knowing, you know, how to get to actually use that. But she was interested, and I said I would have to talk to you, Crystal, because you're the lead on the lease, and it needs to be available for consultants and available for directors on certain nights. But it would possibly be an idea where and she had one other gal that she was looking for office space for. So it's just a thought. I don't know if it would work out.
So what is she needing? Like, you know, when you say office space, are we talking like she wants to like set up an office room?
No.
Or like office space and like someplace to schedule with clients when she's got an appointment during the day?
That's it. And within a certain time frame. So I showed her the facial room. I showed her, you know, all the things that we have access to. And she said, you know, it's something that I would want to have a soft place, so that if the person starts to cry, you don't have everybody looking at her. She said, right now, I do that mostly in coffee shops. So that's kind of what she was talking about. One of the other things, I'm not sure, I've just thought of it now, but if through your BNI or through connections, could we like sell tickets to create a cooking class? And if there was a chef that, you know, was local or whatever, would be willing to teach a cooking class, but we would actually charge for it. And that charge, you know, so much for the chef, but so much for each person to come and make the meals. I mean, I'm really thinking outside the box here, just of what some options might be.
Piggybacking off of that, Christopher, my man, he is a dietitian. He had to partner with Sanford for a while to do some of the cooking at the hospital. I mean, I could talk to him because he does like do consultations and stuff like that with clients. I mean, he cooks phenomenal foods for me when I'm hungry. So, I mean, maybe that could be an avenue that we look at. I could talk to him if that's something you guys want me to look into.
And we could expound on that too. Like if
Right.
he came in and taught this or, you know, the art of eating healthy or just doing a specific meal.
Yep.
And I don't know if he'd be willing to share his time as a gift and talent, but that we could sell tickets to other, to our clients. We could sell it kind of like some sort of a type of a fundraiser. And for each ticket sold, we could give so much to the charitable foundation. The rest of it we could keep there. I don't know, just thoughts.
Good ideas. I mean, that's something that I would be comfortable talking to him about. So I just need to know if that's like an avenue that we want to go towards.
What do you think that you could charge for people to do some kind of a workshop? And think about that as I'm talking next. So as you guys are talking, and this is what makes us a great team, you guys have all these ideas and start talking, and then I hear things and my brain starts clicking. So what I hear is a day to make a better way to you or a better you or something like that. But instead of just a cooking class, maybe just having those strategic pieces throughout the day. So like, what are the key things that are super important to a healthy body, healthy mind, healthy heart? You know, and having that baseline, and maybe that's what we teach in the morning is, you know, doing, and I'm just giving examples, but like this needs to be different than what I'm giving. So like, for instance, we start our morning out with our devotionals and our self-talk, and making sure that, you know, we know our strengths and we know what to work on. What are our weakest part of the days that we need to kind of keep in mind? Eating healthy, exercising healthy, having a good relationship with family and how to kind of like maintain that. So, you know, what if it was a day workshop where we started off with that, and then there was somebody that came in and, you know, taught the dietary stuff, and they got some kind of takeaways or something like that. I know that there's a chef too, like a healthy chef that comes in and cooks for our gym every once in a while when they do like the group things or whatever. And then when he comes, he'll give like certain vouchers or whatever for him. You know, what if we had somebody from either my gym or somebody else's gym that could come in and talk about being healthy and things like that. Like my owner of my gym has a lot of free things that he does online that people that don't go into the gym, maybe they can't afford to go to the gym, they can kind of do home stuff. And so he posts on there every day for people to be healthy, fit, and healthy Sioux Falls. But just different things throughout the day. I mean, we can have Tamian come in and talk about having, you know, better peace of mind or whatever. And then I know there's another gal that I think she used to be, or she's in your BNI group that you were in, Lisa, or maybe somebody else's. But she does like vision casting and vision boarding. She came in and did it at the studio before. We had a very, very small group for it, but something along those lines to maybe do that. But I'm going on and on, but do you see where I'm going with it?
Yeah. No, I do. And I think too that it might be helpful once Jessica and Betty have a chance to watch this, that maybe they can share other ideas, and then we can put all those ideas in one, you know, and even if it was from like 9 to 2 or something like that, or if each of the people that were teaching, if they wanted to donate something for a silent auction, and we could raise the money from that silent auction, and X amount of it would go to the foundation, X amount of it would go to the studio. I mean, these are all just kind of thoughts.
Yep.
Because we probably could invite, you know, other businesses too that would maybe like to have something for a silent auction.
Yeah, very, very true.
So when is the insurance due?
It was already due. We should have paid it last month already.
And did we ever collect monies from Maribeth?
I thought that I said, Lisa, will you please just say that that's fine and get it from her so we can be done with it, because I really don't want to. And I thought you said yes, you would, but maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I just imagined that.
You know what? Do you by any chance have the original email?
Let me see.
Because if you do,
Delete anything that has to do with Mary Kay, I'd like archive it.
I remember at a studio meeting at our previous studio that Crystal, you did say like I don't want to do that. I don't remember who you were directly speaking to, but I do remember that part of a conversation.
Okay. So if you said it to me, I obviously didn't do anything, and I apologize for that. But
It's okay. Like, I'm fine with it. I just didn't want to have to be the person that does it just because things are so rocky with us.
Mhm.
Studio money. Let's try to look at that. Well, she would have probably. She still emails my Yahoo account. It's probably there. Okay, so let's while I'm looking for this, because I can sometimes I get a little bit multitask. I can handle searching and email. That I can do. Let's talk about the gal that would like to rent the studio space. So I would be open to that, Lisa, because it sounds like it would be the same situation as basically another director having a studio pass, or having paying rent and renting out the space. I mean, as far as I can tell, I haven't seen any situation that's come along where we haven't had enough room during the day, because I imagine almost all of our appointments would be during the day.
Mhm.
I haven't ever seen a situation where we haven't had enough room for people to come in and work.
Well, and I did tell her, how we schedule through the team up calendar. I said, so you would probably be able to gain access to that calendar, and then you'd reserve the room just like we do.
Yeah. So I'd be really open to that, and I think that we should go for that, because here's the thing with that is, if we have her come in and be another renter of the studio, that would put us at enough so we're replenishing at least our rent every month without anything. I mean, we're like $10. Like, let's say that we did it for $195, and the same amount, for the $195, even though like there's the other options, and maybe she'd want to do longer than a year lease, and that would be fine. But I feel that anything lesser than that is too good of a deal for anyone.
Mhm. I
So
think that the hours that, if I remember right, her saying would be like 9 to 3, because her kids get out of school at 3, and then anything in the evening time she would do from her home. So
okay.
that would leave it open for meetings at night, but it might be the best way to start. And if she's already found something, then we could put feelers out for somebody who might be looking for a rental space. Is that an ask that you could do at BNI?
I could, but there's nobody in my group that would fit that T, because they all have their own office space.
Okay.
And to be honest, like, I would want to know the person on a bigger level. You know what I mean? Like, this person, she's your client.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really great. I wouldn't want to just put it out there for kind of anyone, because I think it really does take a unique person to be able to share that space with us.
So would you like me to reach out to Tanya and see if they're still looking? Or after doing that, do you want me to get her in contact with you because of the fact that you're the lead on the lease?
Yeah, I mean,
Because I have no idea, like, dollar amounts and all that.
yep. And well, what is your thought as far as, that goes? Like, what do you feel that we should charge for a non-director?
And the 195 is the amount that Jessica is
Right.
paying.
Right. Like, that's a 1 year.
I think we start there.
That's what I thought too.
I third that.
Okay. I think that's a great price would be for her as well, because for her to get a space and basically have unlimited opportunity to schedule to,
Uh-huh.
for that under $200 is pretty amazing.
So then I think we probably have to also figure out is, would that 195 be the same as it would be for Jessica, who pays that for a month? There, she'd have access to the water, she'd have access to the coffee, paper towels, all that kind of stuff.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think we would have to add a little bit of slush into that. So instead of that 195, I think that needs to be up maybe, you know, an extra 20 or $30 or something, because each person then that's renting the studio, as far as the directors, now that you bring that up, it's also including any of the extras that we purchase, because we have consultants coming in and paying the studio fee. She wouldn't have anybody coming in and paying a studio fee.
Good point.
That's a really good point.
So, you know, maybe it needs to be 225 or 220 or 215 or something.
I think I'd say 225.
Is that per month?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would see that fair, just because, I mean, if we're like, I average probably like what, 4 or 5 consultants who get the quarter pass, and I'm a baby, you know what I mean? So I'm just thinking like math there. The
Yep.
difference, if I do the 149.29, and then I have probably 4 consultants that bring in $40 each for the quarter, that puts it at 180, 189 coming from me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's fair.
Okay.
And I know she was also looking for someone that she works with that was looking for that kind of space as well. So it would be 225 for each person, correct?
So is this also a person that's doing consultations?
My understanding is yes.
So kind of the same situation that she is. They just have, like, they have the same business, but they both have their own business, and they're both looking for a space, and they're trying to find one together to make it more cost effective.
I believe yes to all of your comments.
Okay, so if that's the case, you know, maybe we offer them more of a bulk deal, because if they're both looking for daytime hours and they would be scheduling times, you know, that would be something where I think that it would be a benefit to have them both in, because if we could save them money from finding a place, vice versa. So I don't know, but 225 a person I think is still really good though too.
I do too.
Well, I think that 225 is reasonable. Are you now saying with the 225 they have access to the water, the coffee, and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a stellar deal.
Okay, so then yeah, there would be 225 per person then.
Okay. So I will start there, reach out to her and figure out who her friend is. And then if you can find that email from Mary Beth, then I'll address that issue too.
That sounds fabulous. And what I will do is I'll look up the email right now. And then once you get in contact with them, you know, if this is still something like, hey, yes, they want to reach out, and you can feel free to have them call me, or I can reach out to them. But regardless, send me their phone number so I can save it in my phone. So I know that it's them calling. Just based on if I'm doing something that I probably wouldn't stop and step out to take a call, I'd want to do it for them to get something rolling, so we don't lose out on an opportunity and have them find something else.
Okay, so I'm going to send you Tanya's right now because that's the only one that I have.
Okay.
And then I'll have her get the other gal's information. So I'll send it to you right now.
Okay.
And again, like I mentioned, maybe Betty and Jessica will have some ideas that we can also put in the mix.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure they will, because I mean they both are like, oh gosh, I just love them to death. They both have so many ideas, and Betty's so colorful, and she comes with these creative ideas that are super fabulous, and Jessica, she just like brings light to like everything you do. So, I mean, we couldn't have gotten luckier with the group, you guys. I'm so blessed with that.
I agree.
Makes me so happy. Other than that, I just wanted to check and clarify that the code to the new studio box was sent around and received by everybody. And if not, I wanted to, well, regardless, I wanted to go ahead and just give that out again to make sure everybody does have that. Because I know the day that I reset it, when I sent it, I didn't have strong service. And I don't know if it went or not, to be honest. Because I searched my own phone, couldn't find it.
So I've been using the key, but you're talking the one for the lockbox for the consultant?
Yeah, for like the consultant. So because of the beginning new quarter, the new quarter passcode is 2181.
And that started September 16th?
No, October 1st. So like we always do 2 weeks after the star.
Okay. 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 Any other last minute, or I'll stop this and reformat it and get it sent out?
The only other thing is just to kind of reiterate, we do have another round table that I have. I need to just go pick that up. And I got that for free in exchange for a plumbing job that I need to do. So that was nice and no extra cost to the studio fund there. There's one there. I would like to get 2 more, and especially if these gals come in, I think the round table, the 4 round tables in there would be an extra perk for them.
Yeah.
It's more like homey and comfortable, and that's why we wanted to do it. So I am hoping to go out there this weekend and get that so I can start transforming that room. I did remind Matt again about the TV. He is super busy, you guys, and I'm sorry that he hasn't gotten it up, but the guy has been working quite often. So it's been a little nuts, but I reminded him that the TV needs to go up so we can have that as access points. And then just to kind of remind everyone, we have it on our to buy list to purchase the cords for phones so people can hook that up to the TV and do the parties from their phone. But of course, we just don't have it in the budget right now.
Okay.
So that is on the list, and I think I want to say that was it. Oh, except for I got a notice today that they are going to be redoing the entire parking lot on Monday. So do not park in the parking lot all day Monday, probably through Monday evening. But the hairstylist that's right there in that same parking area, we can park in their parking lot until that's dry. And it may be dry by Monday night already, but they just weren't sure. So just make sure that everybody is aware of that. And it's just this coming Monday on the 15th.
Okay. Monday's the 14th. So is it the 15th or is it the 14th?
Okay, so it's Monday, whatever Monday is. Let me just double check. Okay, I'm wrong. Good morning. Steel Pros is doing work on the entire parking lot Tuesday, October 15th from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. They want the entire lot clear. So it may not change anything for the evening because it says 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it might be free to park in at that point, but 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. just make sure that we park in the salon to the east of the north side of the, the salon to the east, and we can park on the north side of their building.
Okay.
Anything from someone, I mean, anything anyone else has as far as topics or things? Oh, Lisa, are those red jacket chair covers yours?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Mary Beth could not find red jacket chair covers for the event that we had, and she's like, I can't find them. Do you happen to know if you have any at the studio? And I just kind of, at first I didn't even remember them being on the chairs back there, but I was just like, I haven't seen them. I said, I don't know. But to be honest, I was so sick, I wasn't going to go there and check anyways. And then when I did get to the studio, I'd remembered that we did have some, but I was like, I'm pretty sure those are Lisa's. So I just wanted to clarify so that my brain knows, so that she doesn't try to pull it over on me.
Yeah, no, and I think I have my label on each of them.
Okay.
So did you use them or no?
No, I didn't, because I was so sick that anything extra that weekend was just not working out for me. I mean, I had a hard enough time just like standing up and not fallen over while I was there. But I was really good at faking, so everybody else didn't know.
Okay, well, is this a wrap?
This is a wrap unless there's anything else anyone else has. But I'm going to go ahead and follow up with those things right away after this. So I'll get that sent out, and then I'm going to get those spreadsheets done and get those shared. And again, this is, as far as like any missing payments, this is not the fault of whoever has a missing payment. So it was a bank problem, not your fault. So we do need to get it fixed, but I don't want anybody to feel like they have to do something on their end, because once you think that it's automatically going to come out, you just assume like it's taken care of. So I just wanted you to know that I know that there's not going to be any like late fee or anything like that. We just need to get it fixed and taken care of. So check on the spreadsheet. And of course, if there's anything on your end, please check with your bank to make sure that this is accurate and that there isn't, there wasn't anything done, which I don't think that there would have been, but I would just like to make sure before anything is kind of touched or taken care of, just so I'd feel better about that. And if you have not turned in physically a signed copy of the lease, it needs to happen. That's the only other thing too.
You got mine, didn't you, Crystal?
Yep, I sure do.
Okay, great.
I sure do.
Okay, well, drive safe, Andia.
And you look ravishing, by the way. So it's kind of like illegal to be that hot in public, so don't get arrested.
I live for flannels and sweaters and scarves, so this is like my favorite time of the year. So I'm a happy camper.
Good, good.
Yes.
All right, lady. Well, so thank you so much for your time, especially on a Friday. Lisa, thank you to going the extra work to set this up. I so appreciate you.
You're welcome.
I will see you guys soon.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa, for setting it up, and thanks, Crystal, for leading it. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye.